This is the dt I'm fixing. I've just done dropping the oil there. If you look in the oil, it's milky, so the water pump seal is gone. I've checked the oil pump. The oil pump's set, but when you wind it, if you look at the cable, you see frays there. That way the oil pump should be about there actually. I'm going to take the exhaust off and have a look up the barrel, see if we can see what the piston looks like. But this is the compression. That's just by hand. So get the exhaust off first after all the oil's drained out. See it on there? It's milky in that. And I've drained all oil, and that's what colour it is. So we need a water pump seal. Check all the indicators, they're all working, the horn's working. But if you listen when I turn the key, there's the power valve servo motor there. It isn't whizzing, it isn't turning, doing the self-cleaning motion, so it might be disconnected and pinned open, I don't know yet. We'll have to have a look at that. We'll get the exhaust off first and have a look up the barrel, see what we can see. So I've got the exhaust slack. Just going to pull that off now on video. And then once we'll have a look to see what position the power valve's in. Then I'll take the power valve end cap off there and see if it's got anything in there. But we'll get this off now. I'll just pause this. Right, that's the phone set up. Right, that's the exhaust off. There's some of the milky oil what come out at the end. Anyway, let's look up the barrel. Ooh. And there's the piston. Anyway, can't really see it, but it's all scratched anyway. So next, I'll drain the coolant, which is that. And then we'll get the head and barrel off and have a look at the state of the barrel and the piston. And on closer inspection, the power valve isn't set. There's a gap under here where my finger is. Before I thought that just looked all flush till I put my finger in. So in this cap here, the power valve black bit, it'll be back a bit. I'll have to test why the servo motor is working. It's normally the CDI. Your CDI can work everything on the bike, but it won't make your servo motor run. People will know this on the DT group, so I've helped Richard Wiley, this lad from Spring, I can't remember his name, James Sloan, and Michael Hamilton, a few others. All they've had this problem with their bike. Head off anyway. That's all the tank and the seat off. Top end will be off next. First, we're on to the power valve. And I've already slackened these bolts, ready to just take this case off. Just remember, when you're taking bolts off, always put them back in the holes they've come from. And look, you can see straight away what's up with the power valve. If you can see that screw sticking out under there, I'll move the camera forward. I'm just going to put these two screws back in there. There's the power valve. It's just screw in as a bodge job. If you can see, and it's offset as well. And the black part of this is snapped. Just noticed that there. That cable isn't going nowhere. And there's the power valve. The servo motor plug there, it isn't plugged in. There'll be a red and white wire somewhere there. That's plugged together, so I'm going to plug them together and test the power valve. I'm going to turn the key, see if it works and that. But I'll have to take that screw out. Notice union tight, it come out by just 2 turns of the finger. So that's the black tape of the 2 connectors. Just pull it together. The screws out, which I've just showed. So just watch this now while I turn the key. So the power valve is working. If you watch this cable, just it isn't pulling it back because that's snapped. That cable isn't hooked onto nothing. If you can see on camera, it's hooked onto nothing, so it's pulling, it isn't pulling it back up. But that hole there, if you can see that hole, like that, wide open, like that, that's when you have them. When that black bit on that, kind of really see it. That black bit on that has got to line up with the hole behind it, if you can see the hole. So if I pushed it like that, and you can see, push it down, that's set. When it's like that, you put a drill bit through and tighten it up. But these cables will need unslacking to set it, but it won't work because of that snap. Like I say, it'll see if the cable moves when I turn the key. Just pull this off here. And that's inside the power valve. We'll just pull them cables out and see if it rotates on the proper way it should when you turn the key. So I'll just pause a while I get those 2 cables out. It's best on the cables when you get them out, push this one out from the back, because the screw what keeps this on is in the middle of there and you can't get the cable past the screw, so we take it back out ways. This one will just hook out because it's not connected or nothing on the power valve black bit. I'll just get this one out. That's that out, right? We'll pull that down and check the power valve. And the servo motor's working and the CDI unit. Because if not, it would just, when I turn the key, it wouldn't do that motion, it would just constantly spin. That's when you know your CDI is broke. But so it needs one of those black things on, so I can set the power valve properly. We'll start getting this stuff off to get the barrel and head off now, because I've got to take the engine out as well. Now we're going to take the water drainer bolt out. But if you just take the bolt out now, it'll just trickle out. You do it that way, when you take your radiator cap off, it'll just gush out. So it's best to just take the radiator cap off first, then loosen that bolt and just let everything out. Because like I say, if you loosen that now with the cap on, it'll just dribble out. And then when you're looking and you take your radiator cap off, it'll just go and squirt everywhere. So we'll drain the coolant now. So that's all the coolant out. I'm going to take this bracket off, take this pipe off, take the 2 water pipes that run to the carb off, and then take the head off, and then take the barrel off. I'll undo the servo motor, which is here, and that's the top pipe off, the mount off. Just always remember to put bolts in where they've come from. And there's the servo motor off, at least we know it's good, and the CDI's the M working. And normally that has 2 pipes on, but if you look, the pipes just join from one to another, which doesn't matter because it's got a different carb on, so it doesn't have the 2 carb warmer pipes on anyway for that to join to. So we'll get the spark plug cap off and we'll take the head off. And just as I was looking at the head to take the connector off the temperature sensor at the back, if you can see it back there, I found this wire tucked away. so it hasn't even been fitted to the temperature sensor, so it wouldn't show up that it was heating up on the speedo. So that one's a new thing in as well. But anyway, we'll get the head off now. It's only 5 bolts. To take them off in a crisscross pattern as well. So take that one off, the back one off, the front one off, this one off, that far one off. Don't just slacken one after the other. That's the 5 head bolts off. There should be 5 washers. That one's off the front one, and it's not the proper one. Anyway, we'll lift the head off now. Just making sure it's not connected or nothing. That's the head. Head looks alright on camera. When I look close, a scratch mark there at the bottom over the hole. There's marks there, a mark there. There's something's been in there flying about, a little bit of metal. There's a mark there. So anyway, we'll get a look at the piston now. There's the top of the piston. Got like mug on. Like dirt or something. I'll just pull this head gasket off. Can't really see it. Once I get the barrel off, I'll check the top of the barrel properly. See that there's one of them scratch marks there, like what's on the head down there. So before the piston goes, when it's top dead centre. And that's top dead centre there. The piston's alright. Well, it's not alright, but it's rising to the right height. Not very much wobble on it, but there's the barrel there actually inside. You can see there. So the barrel's all scored. So get the barrel off next. Just got it's only 4 bolts to take that off. It's best to slacken your clutch off as well before you get your barrel off, just so you can get it out that little nipple where the clutch arm is. We'll be taking that off and it'll come off with that. That's the 4 bolts off at the bottom. That's the one just left on the clutch arm. It's always best when you're taking the barrels out, get the piston as far down as you can. So it'll be about there. Might bang it with a rubber mallet because it's on tight. That's the barrel off. Move that wire. Put that on the piston on the left hand side. That's the barrel. I'm going to take it in the sink where it's lighter. That's it now. You can see it better now because I'm in the light. But it's all scored. don't know if that's a nick. I kind of feel it won't me while I'm touching. While I've got the camera in my hand. It's a bit of metal. It's a bit of metal stuck on. A bit of aluminium, that is. We'll take the piston off next. And that's the piston there, close up before I take it out. Yeah, look at all the way. There's that bit there. It's gonna drop off. It's sharp. Anyway, I'll take it off. And that's the pin bang through the piston, just ready to pull off now. It's hard to push out. We'll have a closer look at that in the kitchen. The little ends. Just check the bottom end for any play. There's none in there. That's tight. That even side to side, there's no movement. Just have a closer look in there. Make sure it's not seized down there. The two shims look alright. So the crank's alright. The big end bearing's alright in there. It does look like it might have been getting hot down there. And there's the piston. Bottom ring's melted into the gap. So there's the top one in some places. There's the big score on it. And that's what probably that bit of metal is in there, stuck on the barrel. Supposed to line it up. So you open the piston, you've got your notches on the back. Always have the notches at the back of the engine. Never have them at the exhaust port, because they'll hit the valve. So see if these notches are at the back, the piston will fit in that way. And there's that big gouge there. So if the piston fits in that way, like that, that big gouge is down there about that. And there's the bit of metal. Put the torch on it. And there's the bit of metal in line with that. So I'll have to see what we'll get done with this barrel. I've got to rebuild the bottom end as well. But anyway, that'll be this for this video. Right, thanks for watching.